Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, perfect, perfect. Okay, I'm going to go on mute and let me know when I have
All
to.
right.
Okay, perfect.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome you for this data-driven marketing open day. So first of all, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome our participants who are here today in numbers. And of course, I would like to welcome our guests who are present here as well, and whom I shall be introducing shortly. But before moving on with the proceedings of today's event, as your host for today's event, it is my duty to give you a brief introduction about the Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing, and then of course about this program, this data-driven marketing program. I know most of y'all have done your research by now, but let me give you a brief introduction about the Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing first. So, ladies and gentlemen, SLIM, or the Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing, is the apex body for Sri Lankan marketers, which was founded in 1970 and subsequently incorporated by an act of parliament in 1980, making it a not-for-profit organization in Sri Lanka. So we are mandated to uplift the marketing profession in Sri Lanka, thus providing marketing studies and conducting many national level events and projects. So SLIM is governed by a council of management and an executive committee headed by a president and composed of professionals from numerous industries working in an honorary capacity. And then, ladies and gentlemen, the Ddmp program, or the data-driven marketing program. So this program is designed as a professional qualification to provide knowledge on essential data-driven marketing concepts and to provide skills to evaluate and identify the basic practices and concepts. So, and this program is ideal for marketing professionals inspired to have a better understanding of their customers and their behavior to improve decision making, and also for the students with the fundamental knowledge in marketing and digital marketing. Right, so with that, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I would like to take this time to welcome you once again for this data-driven marketing open day. Our participants were we're hoping to see you soon as students at Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing. And then, of course, I would like to welcome our guests who are present here as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I would like to welcome Mr. Nadheera Udawatte, Senior Manager, Public Website, Coast Capital. He's our keynote speaker or our guest speaker. So I would like to welcome you. And of course, I would like to welcome one of our lecturers, Mr. Seninda Bandara. So I would like to welcome you as well. And I would like to welcome Mr. Pawan Hettiarachigi, Manager, Slim Business School, for this open day as well. Right. So with that being done, let us now move on with the proceedings of today's event. And we're moving on to the highlight of today's event, and that is, of course, the keynote speech or the guest speaker's message. So in order to deliver the guest speaker's message, as I mentioned earlier, we have an important guest here today, a special guest with lots of knowledge, with lots of experience in this particular field. So Mr. Nadheera Udawatte. So Mr. Nadheera is a digital marketer with over 10 years of experience specializing in digital analytics and website optimization. And after graduating from University of Sri Jayawardenepura, he worked for a couple of e-commerce startups before being recruited as the second employee of Ogilvy Digital. After migrating to Canada in 2013, he started hyper-focusing on data-driven marketing by working for Insurance Corporation of British Columbia as a digital analytics specialist. He further specialized in digital optimization at HSBC Bank Canada and now works as a senior manager, public website at Coast Capital. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Nadheera Udawatte.
Thank you, Sandeep. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. So thank you so much for the introduction. I want to welcome all of you to this session, and I will start by um, talking about like how I've personally changed on ways how I consume content. So about 10 years ago, when I was working in Sri Lanka, I used to go to work. So I would look at billboards on the side of the road. I would listen to radio on my drive, and I would watch TV when I came home. So at that time, if you were to market a product to me, um, you can use those channels. You can put your m- marketing messages on billboards, on radio, on TV to reach me. Now I'll fast forward about 10 years. Now I work from home, so I don't drive anymore. And I don't watch TV at all. I watch some Netflix, but that's all for TV. I uh, don't read any papers, but I'm on Facebook and Twitter. I just checked my phone. I spend about 1 hour on Twitter, 1 hour on Facebook, and some time on Instagram and other social media. So the way somebody could market their products to me have drastically changed, and it's the same for a large population. And so if you are a marketer in today's world, you have to use those new channels like social media, um, web, Google search, could be display marketing, could be TikTok, could be Instagram, all of those different things. Now, what's the common factor in all of these different channels? That's that you have a lot of data um, in all of those channels. So, and when you do marketing in those channels, unlike billboards or unlike TV, unlike radio or print, um, you get a lot of insights that you can use to help customize your message or personalize it or to change it or to improve it. You can optimize it uh, as you go. And that opportunity was not there before. So there's a lot of data that are available. And if you're doing marketing in this age, you need one thing, that's the ability to uncover insights using that data. And that's why data-driven marketing is so much vital to today's marketing. Now that's why it's leading globally, why it's so much important, and why you need to be a data-driven marketer to thrive in today's marketing, because it's no longer the hidden or like that blind targeting you had. Now you know who's clicking on your ads, who's coming into your website, who's buying your products, and who's engaging with your content, and you can do better if you know data. Now I'll explain some um, personal experience, some places I've used data-driven marketing. Now, when I manage large websites, we always have to keep improving them. And one way we improve our website is by using data. An example is so I was in charge of one of the campaigns, and I realized that some of these one of these pages had about 30 to 35 different forms that a customer would see, and there were only about 5 relevant forms that they had to look at. So there was a lot of like unnecessary data on that page, but legally we were required to show it to everybody. But then I found out there's a audience that we can show it. So if someone's coming from a certain page, we need to show them only a certain number, only about 5 forms. And uh, then what I did was I ran a test by showing only 5 out of those 35 forms, and that increased our conversion on that product by about 17%. And we made sure that that was the experience going forward. Now that's just one example of an A/B test that I've run using data. We got that insight that if we reduced or if we personalize the page, there'll be more conversion. Now that's just an example. It You can run test, you can get a lot of insights like that on social media, on your websites, on other places you advertise on. There's a lot of opportunity like that that will help you market uh, in a better way. I'll also talk a little bit about how data driven marketing or ability to uncover insights in data helped me to build a career outside of Sri Lanka. So I migrated to Canada in 2013, about 10 years ago, and uh, I found that in like analytics is a demanding, is a field with a lot of demand. There's a lot of jobs, but uh, the uh, hybrid of marketing, that's kind of like an art, and analytics, which is kind of like a science. That uh, hybrid was very is very hard to find. Now, there are a lot of marketers who are coming from arts, business backgrounds. There are a lot of analysts coming from uh, mathematics or statistics background, but there isn't uh, the hybrid um, of marketers who know their data, who knows their numbers, and how to use this data to derive insights that can really uh, take your marketing to the next level. And that um, I had that I had that background where I had work experience in marketing, but I also had kind of like an um, academic background in statistics and mathematics that helped me become like a very unique um, candidate. So that helped me advance in my career because I had the uh, data-driven marketing background. Um, Next, if you're going to focus your marketing career on the marketing analytics or marketing technology side, you need two things. One is you need a paper qualification that tells you that you know yeah, that you know this stuff. So that um, an institute like Slim is recognized, and that will help you get that paper qualification. And at the same time, what you need to do is to uh, practice what you learn in this course, or what you learn about data-driven marketing in your day-to-day work at your organization, or at or when you're learning in your projects. Try to use it. It's because what I found was after facing a lot of interviews in a market like Canada, they really look for the knowledge and experience. So this is a good program that can help you uh, get the theoretical knowledge, and at the same time practice what you're learning to give you that edge, to give you the real um, practical knowledge and skills that you need to show that you know your stuff. So I congratulate every one of you who's joining the program, who's signing up. Um, Learn very well and practice what you're doing, and you can go places. Good luck. And feel free to ask any questions you have about
Thank you,
marketing,
sir.
about
Thank
data.
you for that. Yes. Yes, there will be a Q&A. If you have any questions to ask from Mr. Nadheera, or from anyone or any of our guests, then of course you can pose your questions in that Q&A session. So we'll be directing them to our guests to find answers for your questions. Right. So ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you, Mr. Nadheera, for joining us, and of course for sharing all your experience and sharing that much needed knowledge for our participants, and to help them to pursue their careers in this data-driven marketing field. Right. So ladies and gentlemen, now let us move on with the proceedings of today's event. So next up, to address this gathering and to give out the program brief, I would like to invite Mr. Pawan Hettiarachige, Manager, Slim Business School.
Okay, very good morning to all of you. On behalf of the Slim Business School, I would like to welcome you all for the inauguration of Data-Driven Marketing Professional First Intake for this year, 2022. If I am introduce myself, I am Pawan Hettiarachige, Manager, Slim Business School. It's my responsibility to give a brief introduction about the Institute, Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing. SLIM is a national body for marketing in Sri Lanka, incorporated by an Act of Parliament in 1980. So this is the apex body which organizes many national events in Sri Lanka. You may heard about these national level events: SLIM Canter People's Award, SLIM Brand Excellence, FEs, Marketing Rocks, and the DGs. And also there are a lot of national level events lined up in our annual event calendar. So we do have national obligation to promote and uplift the standards in the industry. Therefore, we are conducting many national level events in every year, and also we are working with the government to enhance the knowledge of the marketing professionals in Sri Lanka. So apart from the national level events, we do have the prestigious education programs in our product portfolio. So one of our main objective is to provide the up-to-date knowledge to the Sri Lankan marketing fraternity. Therefore, at the moment, we are conducting around 17 prestigious education programs from certificate level and also the diplomas and the master's qualification and also the status level qualification. So the DDMP, data-driven marketing, is one of the latest program which we have introduced to the marketing fraternity in Sri Lanka to enhance their data-driven practical and the insights about the knowledge. So before moving on to the presentation, I would like to take the start from this slide. So you can see in the screen. So at the moment, we as a country facing a bit difficulties in terms of the economic crisis. So as the Sri Lankan, it's all our responsibility to take our country into next step with whatever the possible ways. So today you have taken very good decision to learn and earn a professional qualification from the SLIM. And also SLIM is not just a tuition center, and as I told previously, this is a principal body and incorporate in Parliament the national body for marketing. So today you have taken very good decision to learn a professional qualification, the DDMP, data-driven marketing professional. So in my presentation, dear students, now I will elaborate the more details about the qualification and also the assessment criteria and the administration details as well. So moving on to the qualification, the data-driven marketing professional. Actually, the program, the data-driven marketing professional program, is designed to provide the knowledge on essential data-driven marketing concepts and provide skills to evaluate and identify the best practices and the emerging concepts in data-driven marketing. And here you can see the program outline. There are 11 modules, so I just read the module title for your information, and the detailed outline is available in our program handbook. So the first module is Introduction to Data-Driven Mindset, and the second module is Fundamental of Data and Analytics, and the third module is Marketing Process and Data Collection, and the final and the fourth one is the Artificial Intelligence for Business. You can see that we have included the latest the trending topics, artificial intelligence, and also later part of the module and the blockchain concepts. Likewise, actually for this particular program, we have included the latest trending topics to provide the more knowledge on the data-driven practices. And the fifth module is the data-driven creating advertising, and the next module is agile marketing mix, and the business intelligence and data visualizers and the customer-centric marketing activities. And the ninth module is the data-driven conversion optimization, and the 10th module is IoT adaptation for business, and the final module is introduction to blockchain technology. Approximately, we have allocated 60 learning hours for this qualification, and we have designed a unique class schedule for this particular program, and I will show the class schedule and as well as the program handbook in my next slide. Here, this is the assessment criteria. Before moving on to the assessment criteria, here now I will share the class schedule for your information. I hope that you can see in the screen now. Today we are conducting the inauguration for the qualification from 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. And next week we are not conducting classes because of the Vesak. And the first class we have scheduled on 22nd May from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And all the classes will be conducting through the Microsoft Teams online. And all the classes we have scheduled on Sunday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Here you can see in the class schedule, we have allocated a dedicated session for the assignment briefing, and as well as after completing all these 11 modules, here you can see, and there will be a revision session prior to the final examination. And the students, those who have successfully submitted the assignments, then they will receive the exam admission to go ahead with the final examination. So your final examination on 18th September. Here, this is the class schedule, and all these informations we will share with you all through the email. So it's your responsibility to give the correct contact details, including the email and the mobile number at the point of registration. Here again, moving into my slide. So assessment criteria. For these qualifications, dear students, the assessment of this program will be a practical assignment based practical assignment, and as well as the individual examination. So we have allocated 40 marks for the total total weightage for the group assignment, and the 60 for the online MCQ questions. And the group assignment refers to the practical approach to the data-driven marketing. And also the assignment aims to incorporate the concepts learned in the class into the real scenarios. Here, and for the group assignment, the students will be grouped into 3 members during the session, and the groups will be provided with the task on developing a project proposal for an organization on how to improve its performance by adapting the agile marketing practices based on the content of the program. So once again, I will repeat it. So this is the assessment criteria for the qualification. The group assignment, students will be grouped into 3 members during the session, and again there will be online examination. Duration is 1.5 hours, the online exam, and the totally for the group assignment we have allocated 40, and the rest of the marks 60 will be allocated for the online examination. Assignment submission. So as I told previously, according to the class schedule, the deadline will be for the assignment submission on 4th September. So all students are requested to submit the assignment as per the given guidelines. So more details we will be sharing with the students, especially the guidelines and how to upload your assignment to the portal. So those details we will be sharing by time through the email, and we kindly request from all our students to follow the deadlines as well. And the deadline for the assignment submission is 4th September. And these are the assignment guidelines. And as I told previously, we have allocated a dedicated session for the assignment briefing. So one of our lecturers will attend to the assignment briefing session, and he or she will do the comprehensive briefing with regard to the assignment. So you all have to follow the given guidelines by the lecturer, and also there are a lot of guidelines indicating in the assignment as well. And keep remember that this will be a group assignment. So your team spirit is very important, and you need to appoint a group leader, and group leader has to communicate with the institute for any kind of matters, or if anything to be clarified, then group leader has to be communicated with the institute. And you do not allow permission to go ahead with the assignment with the sole contribution. So it's mandatory to come up with the groups, and we at Slim will support you to get into the groups. And during the session, we will be grouped all the students into the groups as per the given guidelines. Final examination on 18th September 2022, and the students, those who have successfully submitted the assignments, then they will be eligible to attend for the final examination, and admissions will be issued only for the students those who have successfully submitted the assignment. And grade and the description criteria, and now you already know what are the assessment criteria for this qualification, the group assignment, and as well as the online exam. Here the 40 and 64 we will be awarding a ordinary pass, and between 65 and 74 there will be a grade of a good pass. And the students those who have successfully scored more than 70, then they will be awarded the merit pass. And now here actually I would like to share with you certain administration details. The student registrations, this is very important. So at the point of registrations, dear students, you need to submit your NIC copy, 2 stamp size photographs, and the education certificate copies. So this may depends on the entry criteria. So all these documents you need to submit to the institute at the point of registration. So you don't need to submit the hard copy. So if you have the soft copy, then you may email to the relevant person at the point of registration. And after successfully submitting your documents, then you will be given a unique registration number. Here you can see in the screen the sample of the registration number. So this number includes 10 digits. So definitely you need to remember this registration number. So all the corresponding with the institute, you need to refer this registration number. For example, if you are making the payment, and if you need to refer your results at the website, and all the corresponding, you need to get this registration number. And coaching session. So today we are conducting the inauguration for this qualification, Ddmp, and we will commence the classes from 22nd May, Sunday, from 9 AM onwards. And all the students are requested to attend the class on sharp at 9 AM. And we will share the certain guidelines with regard to the classes, especially the Teams guidelines, Microsoft Teams guidelines, and also the attendance for the each and every sessions are very important. Even though we are conducting the online classes, we will monitor the student attendance. And as well as the other thing is, at the point of registration, you need to submit the correct details such as your mobile number and the email address. And if you are changing your mobile number or the email address, then you need to inform those changes to the institute in order to keep the communication with the institute. And also students are requested to check your emails on regular basis. Usually the institute we are sharing all the communications with the email, and to the with the email which we have provided to the institute at the point of registration. So we will commence the classes from 22nd May onwards from 9 AM, and the class schedule, and Slim has right to change the class schedule uh, with prior notice to all the students. And due to the current circumstances in the country, so in certain date and the time slots will make a change, but those changes we will inform to all the students well in advance for your preparation. Communication, as I told previously, usually we will sending all the communications to the email. So it's a responsibility to check your emails on regular basis. For the Sunday classes, we will be sending a unique link, Microsoft Teams unique link on every Friday. And SMS, time by time, we are sending a SMS also regarding the payment and also the deadline reminders such as the assignment submission and the final examination. So, and also we will upload certain important details to our website as well. The website is www.slim.lk. This is the main contact point for the Ddmp qualifications. The Slim Business School is located at number 50 Kitulatta Road, Colombo 8, and the email address is ddmp@slim.edu.lk. And also please note the mobile number. Now you can see in the screen, note 703662177. So dear students, if anything to be clarified or if you need any kind of support, so please contact the Slim Business School team through the email or and through the hotline given in the now the mobile number. And we are here to support you all, and if anything to be clarified, even our lecturers will support you. And for each and every modules, we have appointed a senior marketing practitioners in the industry based on their qualifications and the experience. So this will be a very good opportunity to learn a new trends such as the artificial intelligence and the blockchain concepts and all of these. Now I think you have a bit understanding about the program qualification and especially the content. And thank you very much for joining the session today. And here I will show you the program handbook as well. This is the program handbook. So all the informations we have included in the program handbook. So this will be shared with the registered students before the class commencement. So I would like to kindly request from you all to refer the program handbook before attending to the classes. And I just read the module title today due to the time constraint. But here actually in the program handbook, we have included the detailed outline for each and every modules, and also especially the guideline for the assignment and all other important information. So we will share the program handbook with the students prior to the class commencement. So as I requested previously, kindly refer the program handbook before attending to the classes. And so thank you very much for joining the session today. And now I think now you have a very good understanding about the institute and also about the qualification. So please share these informations with your colleagues and friends and ask them to join with the Slim Ddmp program. And we have a limited number of seats, and since we are conducting the online classes, so we would like to reserve only the 30 and 35 seats for this qualification. So, and please share these informations with your friends and colleagues and ask them to join with the Slim Ddmp program. And please contact Mr. Anuka and Mr. Manjitha for the registration, and they will support you and they will provide you the more details about the program registration. And according to the class schedule, so we will commence the classes on the 22nd May onwards, and we will share all these informations, the class schedule, program handbook, and other important details prior to the class commencement. So thank you very much, and have a nice day. Over to you, Oshada.
Yes, thank you, sir, for that wonderful brief about this the DDMP, or the data-driven marketing open day, or the data-driven marketing program. So once again, thank you for joining us and for sharing all that information and knowledge with us as well. Right, so ladies and gentlemen, next up, as I mentioned earlier, we have a Q&A session coming up. So now this is the time for you all to, if you have any questions to ask from Mr. Pawan Hettiarachige or from Mr. Nadheera Udawatte. If you have any questions to ask about this program or anything related to this data-driven marketing field, or anything that you have to ask in related to this particular open day, You can ask them now through the Q&A option in this Microsoft Teams. So now it's up to you to ask all your questions.
Oshada, they can use the chat box, right?
Yes, yes. So we have a question here. They're asking whether the exam is only based on MCQs. Asking about the exam. I think Mr. Pawan can answer this question.
What is the question, Oshada?
Is the exam only based on MCQs?
No, no, no. As I told previously, there will be a group assignment and as well as the online examination. So for the duration for the online examination is 1.5 hour, which means in 90 minutes, and it will cover the entire syllabus.
Right. So there we go. There's
Clear.
the answer. Yes, I think it's clear. So if it's not clear, then of course you can ask again so we can clarify it. You can ask questions from Mr. Nadheera as well. We have another question. Over what time period do this knowledge change? I think this question is for Mr. Nadheera. Over what time period do this knowledge change?
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Yes. So, over what time period did this knowledge change? So, what knowledge are we? Is it about like the habits of how I consume marketing, or like is it about the test I talked about? Like what exactly is it? The question, if the person can elaborate a little bit.
Yes. I think he's asking about the validity of the data or the information that you're collecting.
Oh, okay. So that test was run for I think about 2 weeks, and we usually use for our testing, we use a calculation to find out how much time a test would take to give us significant results. So if you Google for A/B test calculator, you'll um, get that calculation. There are so many online calculators which will tell you how much time you need to run a test based on how much audience you have, um, and how much visits you get on your ad or your website, and it will calculate and tell you how long you'll have to run a test to get a significant result.
Yes. So just now our lecturer, Mr. Seninda Bandara, joined in. Sir, welcome you. I would like to welcome you for this DDMP Open Day. But before going into the lecturer's message, there's another question. I think again it's for Mr. Nadheera. He is asking whether there are any specific softwares which we can use in this course. I think this should be directed to the lecturer, I think.
Yeah, it's about the
Yes.
course.
Yes. Yeah, we have another question about the group project. So these are for the related to this course. So we'll be directing them to our lecturer later on. So I think that would be it. Yes, thank you, Mr. Nadheera, for answering all these questions. And now let us move on with the proceedings of today's event. Right. So as I mentioned earlier, Mr. Seninda Bandara, our lecturer at Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing, one of our lecturers from Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing joined in. So I would like to welcome Mr. Seninda Bandara. Mr. Bandara.
Hello, I think that I'm audible.
Yes, yes.
All right, just give me a second. There's some small technical difficulty that I'm facing.
Sure. No problems.
Okay, so I think I'm audible, and sorry
Yes.
for that delay. I think there's a small technical fault I was having. So in fact, first of all, I would welcome all of you who are here today on the open day of the Data-Driven Marketer program. So for me to, in order for me to give the kind of lecturer's message, so I thought of doing it in a slightly a different way. So instead of just, I guess that right now you have got some sort of a sense of how this course is going to go and the nitty-gritties of certain elements of the course. So I mean, before I'm getting into the technical or sort of before I give you answers whatever that you have raised so far in terms of the technicalities of the course, but I would like to kind of give you into not how this course is going to go, but of course the way how the output of you would happen like after completing this particular course. So let me share my screen. So I'm not good. This is not a theoretical presentation or anything. So it's just a simple thing that I'm just going to share some insights with you. I hope my screen is visible to you all. All right. So, so what I'm going to share now is there are certain incidences, events which has happened during past couple of, not couple, but past so many different years. And so just look at these things and try to kind of try to figure out some sort of a trend or pattern in this particular scenario. So in 1915, in the late like 1915 in Ceylon, so we all know that people or sort of the leaders of this country, they signed this agreement, or the convention happened with British. So we have, in fact, instead of the king at that time, so we gave the power because of the frustrations what people were having on the ruling sort of the king. And then, in fact, the power, the controlling power was given to the British in 1815. But then in terms of 1818, because of the frustration of people while British were not done things what they promised, so there was a first Nidahas Saragalaya, sort of, the first spark of the kind of a fight on freedom was started. So this is where the Capetipola was, in fact, they killed Capetipola as a result of this, and the entire the British got the control. But it didn't stop over there. In 1948, also again, the rebellion of Ceylon started because they were not happy with what British were doing, and the frustration of people again raised this kind of a rebellion. And what happened was people like Veerapuranappu was being a part of it, and then they also kind of, they have to die as a result of this. And then what happened was, somehow they had a control for another 100 years. So in 1948, Ceylon, or rather Sri Lanka, called as Ceylon at that time, got the independence, and with a kind of a local power structure. But however, in 1953, I think this was kind of addressed recently also. Like in 1953, there was a massive hartal happened in Sri Lanka. It's called the Ceylonese Hartal in 1953. So predominantly the working sector, or rather the laborers at that time, the massive amount of people who became a part of it. But after a couple of time, in 1956, a new power structure, or rather a new leader came into the power. So you can see that, like there were frustrations, and then there's a new leader comes in. So SWRG Bandaranaike, with the formation of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, and he formed a government collating with certain other parties. And then in 1956, a new power, sort of a new hope were given to the people with a new leader. Somehow, in 1959, with the death of SWRD Bandaranaike, Mrs. Sirumavo Bandaranaike became the first female prime minister in Sri Lanka. So that was her first term, but then after that, after 5 years, she lost her government, and then Dudley Senanayake became the prime minister again. But somehow after that, Sirumavo Bandaranaike came to the power for the second time. During her second time, the famous 1971 revolt was started. Especially the youngsters of the country became a part of this. That is because of the frustrations that they were having, because of certain things that they were not aligned with what the government is doing. So again, somehow, like with all of that, and laterally with many of other frustrations, like people were having, like there were many queues in the country. There were so many different things which were having, where there's more frustration, was people were having a larger frustration. So in 1978, again, a new hope came to the power. So J.R. Jayawardena came to the power with giving a thumping amount of promises to the people, and like with a newer hope. So he became the first executive president of Sri Lanka. But however, in like few years time, again, there were certain frustrations, and there were many other incidents happened. So Black July in 1983 was the spark of a kind of a civil war in the country, and that also started with certain frustrations of the government, and as well as the way how things are happening in the political arena, or rather in the overall like the country situation. And it became worse to worse by 1988, when J.R. Jayawardena, 10 years back, he came to the power with a massive like amount of votes and massive amount of power he got. Like he got 5 out of 6 kind of a power in the parliament. But however, by 1988, this is what people were saying, and then the 88 revolt was started, and people were going against the government. They were going against the rulers at that time. It was a massive thing. And then, in fact, in the 1989 election, his prime minister at Jayawardena's government became the president of the country by giving another new hope to people in terms of changing the way how things are happening. However, in 1992 or 3, if I'm not mistaken, with the death of Premadasa, as well as the secondary tier of the country, in 1994, there was a big vacuum for a leadership, and then the first female president in Sri Lanka, Mrs. Chandrika Kumaratunga, came to the power. And again, by giving a newer hope to the country, and newer hope to the people of the country. But however, in 2001, the power structure again changed, and people were having frustration. So power shifted back to the opposition, and when Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe became the new prime minister. Somehow that government could not survive for many years, but one of the significant events happened in 2000, peace talks begin, and as a result, there was a ceasefire. But however, it didn't successfully work. So as a result, what happened was that government clashed in few years' time. And with all of that, in 2005, current prime minister, then the president of the country, Mahinda Rajapaksa, Mr. Mahinda Rajapaksa came to the power. So as the new president of the country, as well as giving a newer, better hope. And in 2009, with the end of the war, things were going in a different direction. But however, it did not succeeded. But in 2010, he won the election for the second term with a match. But what happened was by 2015, again, people were having many frustrations, especially on the way how things are happening. And as a result, the new good governance government came into power again. The general secretary of his party became the opponent, and he became the common candidate and got the power. But that government also certain things, incidents where the frustration start frequently, and the ultimate point was the 2019 East attack. So with that, the frustration, the way how people were reacting became a huge kind of a scenario and sort of action in the country. And as a result, in the 2019 election, the power again went to the ones who were in the opposition at that time, and the current president, Mr. Gotabaya Rajapaksa, came to the power as the 7th executive president. But also in like 2020, we all know that there was a global pandemic also happened, and that amplifies so much of problems, and the frustration came to a point where the scenario what we are having today has happened. So you can see that, like looking at all of that, if I ask you the question, what's next? So I'm pretty sure that everyone will guess, and that's what we also know. There will be a shifting of power. There will be a new government, and the new government will give a newer hope to the country. So generally, that's how it works. Because, and if I ask this question, like, obviously that for a fact that, this is what is going to happen, because this is what we have heard and what we have seen, and the information that we get, this is what we have seen. So, and how do we really make that guess? That because we can figure out things through a pattern. So if you look at this all 200 odd years of scenarios, there is a pattern of everything. And identifying these type of patterns is what, now if you just completely ignore the political side of those scenarios, and if you only look at it from a data perspective, if you look at it from a data-driven mindset, you will identify certain patterns and how these patterns actually work. So there is a power shift, and power shift, the reason for the power shift is a frustration, and in between frustration, or rather before the frustration, maybe that could be a a scenario. Yeah, it could like reverse, or it could be something like a bomb blast, or it could be something like that. And then the frustration get amplified, and then there's a new leader with a new hope. But then what happens is over promise, under delivery. Again, the frustration happens, or there could be incident happen, and then the power shift. So this is how the pattern is absolute. So if you really look at it from a data perspective, and if you analyze all this data, and then I'm sure that the thing we'll learn through this course is also about the kind of concepts on big data. And if you put all these big data together, and maybe you can predict how the next 20 years is going to be. If you look at these 200 years of these actions, the pattern seems to be pretty much similar. So the only difference would be like how these incidents are going to happen may change depending on global scenarios. So other than that, it will be the same kind of a pattern. So being a data-driven person, you'll be able to identify and predict these things in a much more different way. So in my opinion, in my personal opinion, the biggest, or rather the root cause for the current effect of this country, or rather the current issues that we are facing as a country, as institutes, as governments, as professional, the not critical people or the critical organizations were not data driven at all. If they were data driven, I mean, you don't have to go back in time like for 200 years, but even if you go back for 2 to 3 years, like with COVID, with many things, many incidences which were happening in the macro environmental scenario, in a like a geopolitical scenario, global political conditions, global. If you put together, these things could happen, and if you want to really mitigate these issues, these are the actions that we could have taken. Like simple as if we have predicted that there will be economic, we shouldn't have there should have been like many restrictions on imports. The way the rate how it had happened was questionable. I think the common problem is that as a organization or a institution, many people, many organizations, many leaders, they are like not data driven at all. So that is the main the reason, or rather the root cause, and therefore what this course will ultimately give you is that it's a pivot in you. It's not just like becoming a data driven person is absolutely a pivot, not just for you but also I would say it for the entire country. So the way how you think would change dramatically by becoming a data driven person. Then you tend to learn newer things when you try to understand. I just heard that you're asking about technologies, the tools that you can use, the software that you can. That will be many, like all of these things that you can of course explore many once you learn the basic, or rather the key concepts in the right way. So the most important thing what DDMP will provide you is that it will awaken your data driven mindset. That is the most important thing. This is data driven. Rest of the things you can easily learn. And sometimes you might, certain technical things like machine learning, you might not really need to know the technicalities, or rather the development side of it. But still, you can identify conceptually how it would work, and therefore you can get people to work on that. So, and then also it will give you guidance on how to deal with wider range of data, and to make that will help you to make better. That is one of the key things what DDMP again is going to give you. And also it will provide you theories, tools, methods, technologies, and practices across many subject areas. And also that you will be able to get, I mean, I'm just one of the lecturers, and my focus is pretty much into the overall conceptual side of data driven marketing, mostly on the mindset. And because I'm simply coming communications industry, Therefore, my focus is on a very specific area. Although I got involved in setting up the course, but also on the other end, there will be cross-section of lecturers, the resource personnel from so many different industries, especially with a tech background, will also be a part of it. And finally, GDMP in a nutshell will provide you a competitive advantage as a data-driven marketer. And I guess for the better and a greater future, that if you really want to change the system for country, I guess that is the intention of most of us. And the system change with these things. The more you become a data-driven person, the system will automatically start changing. So that's it. That's all what I have to say as the lecturer's message. And I would believe that the next that we are going to begin with the journey with with the data-driven marketing professional program. That's it, and thank you so much for listening to me, and I wish you all the best. And if you have any questions, maybe you can, whatever that I can answer, I may be able to give you answers to it. That's it.
Yes. Thank you, sir. There are two questions. The first one is, are there any specific softwares which we are going to use in the course? So I think you're muted. So you're muted.
Yeah. So I think yeah. So there will be like so since this course has different types of modules, including like research-based modules, and then there are visualization related modules. So there will be multiple tools, software will be introduced to you there. Like for example, if it is statistical, there are certain areas or other areas in the syllabus related to session or that module that will be introduced into so many the key statistical software, like STCAMS2 all sort of things. And then when it comes to such areas like data visual, so that you'll be able to get the exposure of data visualization tools like our BIs to like even Tableaus to so many different softwares, and those things that of course you're going to get a kind of wider range of understanding. So also, like in terms of just to connect it, like where there will be most probably there will be a requirement of you to prepare your own data visualizer, especially in that particular module. So therefore that you have to you will be introduced to certain tools, and then you need to have a on experience by doing your own stuff using those softwares as well. So that will also kind of the guidance will be given to the students. So of course there will be softwares to be introduced.
Yes, right. So there's another question. They want to know more about the group project.
Okay, so I think that will be like that will be anyway. There will be a separate session most probably. It depends on the project or other like the way how the assignment is going to be set up. So most probably what happens is there will be a case. Either there will be a case on a particular organization, or there will be a scenario to be given to the students so they can identify their own organization. So I think the last time it was basically for any organization of their choice that it's a matter of working on a data a project that is kind of connected to certain areas that what this course is taken through, like it connects with certain modules of this particular course. So it is going to be a somewhat of a practical kind of a thing that you need to have at least I'm not too sure the number of people in one particular group, I guess, but it will be like somewhere around 4 to 5 students,
It's
maybe
three, Sharif,
like
maximum of 3.
Yeah, maximum. Okay, yeah. So it was maximum of 3. So therefore, like all 3 has to work together and everyone has to literally be a part of it. So I think the reason why Slim has made it only 3 people, because then there will be the involvement of everyone. Otherwise, you won't be able to do that. So it depends on how the structure is going to go. But generally, within the first 9 kind of modules, if I'm not mistaken, 9 or 8 modules, this that will be certain parts of those modules will be given into the project. So it's actually a project that is like a very real-time, realistic kind of a project, more than just it could be even a hypothetical, but still that the whole objective of that project is that how do you really do a kind of a proposal, maybe even to your own organization, like your knowledge, how are you going to kind of contribute back to the organization or back to the society, kind of a thing. So that's generally how it works, is like that. So I mean, it's not going, I mean, I wouldn't say that it's tough, because it's actually whatever you have learned, and it's from a very practical perspective, more than from a theoretical perspective, that you need to understand it from a practical sense. And how do you really showcase your data driven marketing talents to a larger kind of or sort of to your superiors type of a thing.
Yes, thank you, sir. So yes, I think with the time being, we'll limit ourselves to those 2 questions. So once again, thank you, sir, for joining us, and once again sharing all the information and the knowledge. So you'll soon see Mr. Seninda Bandara if you join Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing for this program. So you guys can meet, and you can always resolve all your problems, all your questions that you have with regard to these data-driven marketing. So right, so ladies and gentlemen, before concluding today's session, I would like to invite once again Mr. Pawan Hettiarachige to present the vote of thanks.
Yes, Oshada, and on behalf of the Institute, I would like to take this opportunity to thank our guest speaker, Mr. Nadheera Udawatte. Thank you very much for attending this session, and very special thanks to our lecturer, Mr. Seninda. Thank you very much for your participation and the guidelines for our newly joined students. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank our BDD team, business development team, headed by Ms. Mihirini Fonseca, and Mr. Anuka and Mr. Manjitha for recruiting all these students for the Ddmp qualification. And again, thank you, Rusiru, and the marketing Viraj for organizing such a wonderful inauguration, the live event for all our newly joined students. So thank you very much. And again, thank you, Oshada, for you as well. Thank you very much, and have a great weekend. Stay safe. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, sir. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to conclude today's session. So once again, thank you for joining us for this open day in data-driven marketing. Hope you had a very resourceful session with us here at the Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing. So once again, on behalf of Slim, I would like to thank each and every one of you. I would like to thank Mr. Nadheera Udawatte, Senior Manager, Public Website, Course Capital, for joining today's session as our guest speaker, Mr. Seninda Bandara, one of our lecturers from Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing, and then of course Mr. Pawan Hettiarachige joining in as the manager of at Slim Business School as well. So ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today's session. Have a good day and stay safe.